Hi, I'm Ted. Today's video we're going to change the fuel filter and fix the fuel line in our DT466. Alright, so a couple caveats. I am not a mechanic. I had to sort of figure this out as best I could. Every video and post I saw, well, not exactly every post, but every video had a slightly different system than what I had here, and so it made it kind of a challenge to try to figure out how exactly the right way to do it. I got it running, so I guess it's technically, I don't know if it's technically, it's kind of right because it runs. But again, take a look at the different models you have, because certainly this one was kind of a little bit different than what I've seen in other versions. All right, so you may recall from last week that ran out of fuel stupidly and finally got it going again. But in the process, we went out today and the bus really wouldn't start. It kind of started and then died and wouldn't start again. Come to find out, I've got a leak in this fuel line. So I took it apart, and what it was is these little grommets that was on the end of that had completely fallen apart. So had to go track them down. They're not easy to find. I had to go to this diesel spot, and there's this little grommet. So I'm hoping I can put these back on, get this fuel line hooked up so it doesn't leak, and while I'm at it, I'm going to change this fuel filter. Use a little bit of thread compound. Alright, so next I got my filter wrench, and I'm going to take off that fuel filter. Alright, so these filters are at least the same size this way. This one's a little bit longer, but it looks like it's going to fit alright. And as I mentioned in the video last time, there's some debate about whether you should fill the fuel filter first. You know, one idea is that by filling it, it's less priming you have to do and less air you have to worry about getting in the system. But an argument against doing it is you're getting dirty fuel into the filter, and I guess the injectors are very sensitive. So that creates a dilemma. Except Bruce out there, thanks Bruce, gave me a suggestion of filtering the fuel. Just get some paper towels, and I've used one of my paint cups, and this is actually my paint setup, and we'll see if we can get some fuel into that filter without completely messing it up everywhere. Built this little rack to hold it, and I just get a little bit of diesel fuel. See what happens here. Alright, move the camera back over here. I'm going to go get the filter and see if I can snake it under there without dropping it everywhere and spilling it and just making a general mess. We'll see how it goes. It says to tighten it one turn after it's hand tight. Of course, it's a little bit longer and it's tougher to get this wrench on past that hose. Oh, for crying out loud. This is how my luck works sometimes. This filter is longer, and so now it's buttoned right up against this power steering hose. So I can't get this wrench up underneath that, in between those Oh, for crying out loud. A couple other things I noticed in the video. I don't think I ever put it in, but I never actually was able to get the filter wrench through that power steering hose and up there. So I just kind of muckled it with both hands with the Vulcan death grip and sort of just cranked it as tight as I could. I was able to get it mostly one rotation around after sort of so-called hand tight. But it's not leaking, and I'll just kind of keep an eye on it, and I'll have to try to figure out whether I either next time get a shorter filter that I can get that wrench in, or I don't know, maybe some sort of other kind of wrench. But it's hard to fit. It's hard to fit in there. I suppose I could use a cam strap and sort of tighten that up and do something like that if I needed to. But I guess I'm just gonna try to keep wrestling with it. All right, well, I got it on there as tight as I could. I may have to go and try to get a different wrench to get that on there. But now I'm gonna pump this Bosch valve right there at the same time, push in, get a screwdriver and push in the end of that, and hopefully that's gonna bleed the air out of the system. Doesn't seem to be making a whole lot of progress. I'm gonna try turning the engine over a couple times, see if I can pump some fuel through it. The good news is no fuel leaking through this line anymore. But I'm not really pulling much fuel through that valve either, and this pumping doesn't seem to, oh, there we go. Let's see if we're making a little bit more progress. Alright, kind of racing dark here a little bit, but finally got it going, and I guess the trick was I just kind of had to keep pumping and hitting that little release valve, and then again I really need two batteries in the bus to really get started. I got one because for the most part and under normal circumstances one battery works great, the bus starts up every time, but again I was starting to lose juice and I just knew I needed the compression, so I took the battery again out of the sort of the house area that I even used to power. It's a deep cycle marine battery, and use that. So I just hooked that up to have double batteries and cranked right up as you saw. So I guess that's the process for changing the fuel filter. It seems to, again, it's running even smoother than it did before. Again, especially just fixing that little I think air leak in the fuel line. So that's good. So any mechanics out there, if you got any tips, throw them in the comments. I certainly appreciate it. Again, I hope to continue to develop my mechanical abilities. And for the rest of you, again, so like, subscribe, do those things that you do. Certainly appreciate your support. And until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.